is a trend that I have picked up, right?
Yep.
And it's like, like there's the separation in Johannesburg. There's the artists, right? That crowd brum and they go to markets. They're all artsy-fartsy. All they ever tell you about is the music that they're making. And I'm like, I haven't heard your shit on radio. And they're telling you about, like, I paint and I do... And this thing, Jorge, people think that just because they have a camera, that they're not photographers, right? Which I think is ridiculous.
Why?
Just because you go to idols and sing does not make you a singer, right? So that shit is charming when you're younger.
Inspiration.
As a female, we have this thing where we're taken by the arts, and it's romantic, and he's so spiritual, and he's so with it, he's so conscious. But conscious never made anyone money. Has it, babe? Give me an example of one conscious human being that drives a Bentley and makes a living off of being conscious.
Russell Simmons?
How's Russell Simmons conscious?
He's into meditation.
I mean, in terms of his work, like in terms of the shit that he does, how he generates profit.
Okay.
I'm sure they are. I mean, there's all these artists that you hear about.
Who is a conscious entrepreneur?
Like, who is a millionaire? Example, Common is way better than... Common, Nas, Mos Def, for me, kill Jay-Z. But they're too conscious. Yeah. They're all about... I mean, look at Lupe now. Right? Look at Lupe. I wonder how long Kendrick's going to last. Because Lupe was hot. And then Lupe, I think he kind of fell into the commercial.
His record company.
At some point.
His record company under pressure into the commercial.
Into the commercial. And then we stopped believing him, maybe. Or maybe we're like, no, Lupe, this is not who you are. But when it was who he is, for instance, babe, you're more likely to make money at a wretched whole party than at a poetry reciting.
For sure.
That's all I'm saying. I would like someone to maybe start giving lessons on how to make money out of conscious shit.
For sure.
So anyway.
Because there's a separation between righteous and wretched. That's the problem.
Wretched, yes, but wretched is you have to be sweaty and dancing and drinking lots of alcohol. Conscious, apparently, you must be in a turban and snapping fingers and drinking juice and shit. Juice never made anyone money, Anyway, so when you're younger, like when I was younger, I was like, oh, he's a hip hop artist. Oh, so cool. Then the hip-hop artist, at some point now you finish varsity. Now you kind of have to support the hip-hop artist. And it's like, no. It's like, how is it that I still have not seen you on TV after all these years? At least be on TV. At least be on Channel O. And not those videos that play at like 1 a.m. You know what I mean? So anyway, I stand corrected, but I haven't come across anyone, or I can't recall anyone that makes a conscious living, and is coining it.
No, they don't coin it.
So...
Because the content is too heavy.
So what do you mean the content's heavy?
People don't want to listen to heavy shit.
Why don't people want to listen to... Actually, I know why people don't want to listen to heavy shit.
Right.
I don't want to... Hey, man, I love people that represent the life that I aspire toward. I like when I see them in their cars and their champagne bottles, and I like on some, hey, this shit is possible. Yeah. Don't come and rap to me about the life I live. That means we could all be rappers because we all live this life, right? So I suppose then, because you said earlier that an artist's job is to represent the times, and that was maybe relevant at the time when consciousness and liberation and redefining of what black is and black power. But now, black power, fine, we have the freedom and I say this, quotation marks, we have freedom to move from this area to that area, but can we afford to move from this area to that area? Can we afford to go to those hospitals? Can we afford to go into those universities and study? You know what I mean? Yeah. So now the thing is, the predominant consciousness now is get money, make money, cash money, those people, And I fought it for a very long time, but I see the relevance. For sure. Right? Because for me, in essence, it's telling people to aspire to more than what is. Wow. Don't be okay with the hand that's been dealt to you. Right? Yeah. So now in that move, I've gravitated toward the man that is not necessarily conscious. Like, fuck hip-hop artists on the underground. Fuck that. Ne? Fuck, like, hey man, you will talk sweet nothings to my vagina, but will that make me eat? You know what I mean? So I've gravitated more toward the cats that live in suburbia. And the guys, man, the alpha males, babe. The guys that, dress a certain way, eat at certain places, and just, live a certain type of life that I'm keen to explore. So I think now that the conscious guys are maybe feeling left out, right? Because consciousness and poetry and hip-hop and art are only cute when, you still have your parents giving you an allowance. Right? When you start making your own money, it's like, my guy, hey man, I'm tired of going to gigs. How's about we talk about the bills now? Show me a pay slip so we can compare shit. So I've gravitated toward the northern suburbs?
The northern.
Yeah. The northerners, right?
Who live on credit.
That live, yes. So that's then what I discovered, that these fuckers, okay, so we go to these very affluent type places. As young women, I mean, we're cute, we're yellow. I have this theory that yellow bones, babe, should be given a lot of credit because yellow bones are the backbone of this motherfucking economy. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Why yellow? Because yellow bones, if you go to work and you see something pretty, it inspires you to stay at work. I don't know. But it's just like, it's a theory that I will work on. I will investigate that in the next monologue. But anyway, so I've been dealt this hand. I'm an attractive young woman. I'm an educated young woman. I am an ambitious young woman. And I can't seem to be talking about Steve Biko the whole night. I don't want to talk about Steve Biko the whole night. Sometimes I just really want to be ratchet, right? But conscious niggas can't afford ratchet behavior, can't afford ratchet activities, right? So we gravitate more toward the guys that can afford these things, But now there's that guy, there's that male that's the in-between. That's like, I'm attracted to this kind of female, exhibit A, me, but I figure that she is attracted to that kind of male, that kind of masculine, that can handle shit. When I say I can't afford this, he can handle it, What they do now, so when we go out to these supposedly affluent spaces, these guys are there. So when you go there and all you see parked are Lamborghinis and Porsches, you're like, girls, get your game face on, because now we are hunting. Here we are collecting CVs. But at the end of the night, we need to shortlist shit. I mean, we're all building empires in our own right, in our own way. So you want to have the right staff, right? The right employees to help you build this empire of yours, right? It's nice that some people give capital injections. Makes life easier, So, in these places, you're assuming, okay, I see Porsches, I see BMs, okay, so this is a nice bracket, You can't, you don't spot a single Taz or a Conquest or a Toyota. Those cars don't park there, babe. Like, the worst it could be is like a BMW 4 Series. Seriously, right? And there you are looking like you would fit the the image of what a nigga that drives a BMW 4 Series would want sitting in his car. So you go there, and then you strike up a conversation. He's an attractive young man, well-spoken, and there's nothing conscious about him. You know, the conversation is very, I mean, they're alluring, and they know that, especially if the table is decked out. You know, I mean, I feel like every man should know by now that women aren't into guys that have a beer each. It must be like bottles upon, or at least buckets of beers and at least 2 bottles. Then you can have a conversation, right? Because I mean, I don't have to buy shit for myself. Why? Because I'm a struggling artist myself, you know? We can't both be struggling artists. So, then you strike up this conversation, you get this number, you tell your girl the next day that, oh my God, he's amazing. Like, he's such a cool guy. He didn't want to, I mean, you know how bad shit is now that a guy is judged on, like his righteousness is judged on how fast he pursues the nana. Ne? That's how bad shit has gotten. Like, we have degraded or decreased our like our landmarks or our yardsticks of what makes a good man. Like, did he try and come after your cunt the first night or the second? For us, that's like a whoa, you know. Like, what kind of man doesn't come after, you know, sex the first night, you know? So anyway, so you tell your girl that he didn't do this, and you know he's taking her out to lunch and all of this stuff. A week or maybe 2 weeks into the conversation with this man now that you met at this affluent place and you saw him driving out in a 4 Series or whatever. Only to fucking find out he is squatting at his boy's place. And the only furniture they have are like bean bags. And the only shit that's in the fridge is like a 6-pack of beers and an onion. You know, so now you're like now in a dilemma because you're like, shit.
Fell for it.
I fell for it. I was tricked. You know, and now how do I raise this? That like, my guy, the only reason I gave you any attention was because I felt like you would be beneficial to me. Then comes the question of the gold digger, right? Which I think is a major cultural phenomenon that I would like to dispel today, right? There's nothing unrighteous in being a gold digger because every relationship is based on exchange.
Okay.
Every relationship is based on exchange.
Okay.
Right? There's shit that you require in a partner that you perhaps cannot provide for yourself. Maybe a partner makes you feel good about something. Maybe a partner supports you in your ambitions, or, you know, she's just always there to talk good energy into you. Right? And she might have, you know, her own requirements based on things that she cannot provide for herself. And I don't necessarily mean financially. Right? But the thing is, you pursue a woman and a woman pursues a man based on what they represent of themselves. So that was the buying card. Right? So if your buying card was a decked out table with like Belvedere and Patron and, you know, all of this nice shit, then already you have led her into believing that this is the life that you live. This is the shit that you can afford. So what's wrong with her walking out when you can't afford that shit anymore? What is wrong?